welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Today we are making a soap inspired by jellyfish because I love jellyfish and I love Tahitian teal, the colorant. It's just the perfect combo. And another thing I love is cucumber melon. I think that fragrance is just like S tier, okay? It is in my top probably 10 favorite fragrances of all time, and nothing says summer to me like cucumber melon. And so without further ado, let's make some soap. This soap is actually going to have the titanium dioxide mixed straight into my lye water solution because the whole thing is going to be kind of pastel, and it just saves time and saves little cups if I can just put it straight into this container first. So we will mix that up. And after doing that, I'm realizing that this t-shirt that I thought was long sleeved enough is definitely not. You can see my wrist keeps popping out. So I'm going to put on some sleeves real quick. Safety first. I may have just started, but if I can get a little safer just by pulling on some sleeve covers, I'm absolutely going to do it. I just get these sleeve covers from Amazon and they come in like a pack of 3. You can wash them and then you can wear a short sleeve shirt and have your arms covered completely. So really, really helpful, especially for those of us that live in warmer climates. And now I can go ahead and pour in my lye water solution and then blend that up. Now I'm going to measure and pour off a few ounces of soap batter. It's about 700 grams or 25 ounces. And now we can add in our colors. So I'm going to be adding in our fragrance second because I'm using cucumber melon. It is from Nature's Garden, and they actually have 2 different cucumber melons. My personal preference is cucumber and melons, not the cucumber melon type. I feel like this is more accurate to what most people think of when they smell cucumber melon. However, if you end up with the other one because you like misorder or something, they're both good. Don't get me wrong. So into one of these containers, I'm adding some titanium dioxide. So we're going to have a white layer that we perk up a little bit with that extra bit of TD. Then we have some Tahitian teal going into this container. Sometimes if a lot of my colorant is stuck, I like to add just a little bit of batter into there, mix it up just so it can grip all that extra. And then these cups are not dishwasher safe, but you can wash them by hand. So sometimes we just let the soap saponify in them and then we can go back and wash them later. And then finally, into my large container, I'm adding Tahitian teal with a little bit of radioactive green. So I've greened up that teal just a little bit. All right, and now I'll blend all these up. Actually, I poured that right onto the stick blender, didn't I? That's not very helpful at all. Let's get that down where it belongs. All right, amazing. So now I'm gonna wipe down the sides of everything just to make sure that all that color is incorporated, and I'm going to add the fragrance oil and blend it in by hand. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. And then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna pour the container that's in this red one into my fragrance oil container because I think it's going to pour a lot easier into my 2 brambleberry molds. I see a little bit of ricing. We're gonna see if that poses a problem as I mix this in by hand. It doesn't look like it will. It's just a little bit grainy, which is honestly an improvement. I believe last time I used this, it may have done a little worse. Because my first batch is always a little bit experimental, I'm actually not going to stick blend this fragrance, even though I can see just a tiny bit of grain in the batter to see if it makes a difference in the final bars. If I see it looking kind of chunky in the final bars, I will blend it in future batches. But for now, let's just see how this does, because I really like the liquidity of the batch. All right, time to pour in our brambleberry molds. All right. Start with most of our base color here. Well, not most, about halfway into our molds. Then we're gonna do our more blue accent, which you may or may not be able to see on the camera very good. There is a difference, but it is minimal, and that's the way I wanted it. I'm gonna pour our white. This is the layer that's supposed to look kind of jellyfishy. It's jellyfish adjacent. And some more of our base here, just back and forth on that one so that we can get some good drops with the rest of our colors. And then the final pour for our accents. The smell here, so nostalgic, so nice. If you like cucumber melon, this is obviously the soap for you because it's a dead-on duplication. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of that white into these 2 containers. All right, everything is done for the first layer. So now I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the second layer, the frosting. Alrighty, let's go ahead and put our soap frosting on. So I'm using a large round tip today. This is in the Royalty Soaps Soap Frosting Club box. It's in a 𝐒𝐿 808. I've had a few people ask about the Soap Frosting Club box recently, and basically it is a box I put together to help other soap makers do frosted top or cupcake soaps. I include the recipe that I use in every single video. It hasn't changed for many years, and all of my favorite goodies to help you frost your first couple of soaps. I also have an extremely in-depth video that accompanies it so that you can make soap in real time with me, just to make the process that much smoother. So you can get that on my website. I've been listening today to James Herriot's All Creatures Great and Small on Audible. It's read by Christopher Timothy. That is the version that I got, and he does such a good job with the accents. If you've ever read or heard of the James Herriot books, he is a veterinary doctor, and he talks a lot about all the different types of people he helps and their animals, and they're from all over England. And the man who narrates this particular version does all the accents, which is really fun to listen to. On filming days, I try to listen to very upbeat, very happy things, especially books on tape that I feel I can learn something from. That just gets me in the best filming mood. And for me personally, now again, what I'm about to say is for me personally, this probably isn't the case for all people, but I find that my mood, depending on what I listen to, is significantly and severely impacted. So if I listen to sad, melancholy music, I typically become sad and melancholy, and it doesn't take long. So if I have noticed that my mood has been down and a little sadder than usual, I will reflect on the types of movies, the types of books, and the types of music that I've been listening to see if that's correlated, because I just absorb stuff like a sponge. Being a very romantic person at heart, and someone who absorbs things so literally, again, I do have to be careful what I consume. Again, maybe that's super common and something everybody does, or most people do and most people know, but if you've been finding yourself feeling particularly glum, take a look at the types of media you're consuming and see if they're correlated. I don't know, maybe that'll help somebody. Sometimes we do things so absent-minded, you know, you don't really think about stuff like that until someone points it out. That was one of the ways that I figured out I was like that, was because my mom particularly was like, hey, you've been kind of sad recently. What have you been listening to? What have you been thinking about? And I was like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about sorrow and despair. Before we move on, I think it would be really nice to add a little bit of Sparkle Me Aqua. It's exactly the perfect glitter for this. And I'm not gonna add much, just a few little pumps to kind of make it look shiny. Now for our little jellyfish bubbles. These are made with clear Melt and Pour and Sparkle Me Aqua. So there's some shimmer in there, but it's still quite clear. Yes, and that ties in so well. It's going to be even better when we add the glitter, but I am just feeling this. For all you SpongeBob SquarePants fans, is this kind of giving you some jellyfishing feelings? I feel like their jellyfish are like pink. I like the word jellyfish. I like the idea of jellyfish. I don't love that they would sting me if I touched them, or at least touch their tendrils. I know some jellyfish you could touch the top of them and it wouldn't hurt you, but besides the stinging part, I love everything about them. Man, today has been such a glorious day. Caleb and I figured out some things that weren't working with our schedule, and we fixed them, and I just wrote down a whole bunch of things I was grateful for. That's something that I'm starting, is in the morning to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, and then to write down 3 things I'm grateful for at night. And I'm trying to stick with smaller things that are specific to the day. So I could always write down, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my job, but I'm trying to be highly specific and to find joy in little things. So I'm writing down daily things that I'm grateful for. And let me tell you, that with a cup of coffee in the morning really just sets me off on the right foot and makes me want to get things done and help people out and respond to YouTube comments and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know, it sets a tone. It sets a tone, and I am so grateful for the ability to do that. All it takes is a notebook if y'all would like to join me. And now that I have this ready, I'm gonna add in some good glitter. So this is a custom blend I just whipped up. It is 2 parts Hollow Stardust, 1 part sequins. Both of those are from the Good Glitter. Here's what they look like in the bag. And if you use the code royalty, you can get 15% off your first purchase. By the way, these are incredibly unique glitters because they biodegrade and break down right in your pipes. Like, there is absolutely no waste. It is made out of a really cool natural material. It's just, this is one of the most unique products that we use. Just gonna take my mermaid brush. How fitting, am I right? My sister gave this to me for my birthday quite a few years ago, and it is my absolute favorite brush for soap making because it grabs these chunkier glitters so well. It gets so much on there and allows me to put the glitter exactly where I want it, and thus reducing the amount of glitter waste. A lot of the glitter that falls on the table, I scoop up and then I put in a little baggie, and maybe at some point when I have enough, we can just do like a big fat glittery soap where I put all of my glitter on it. Just so you know, my table is sanitized in between each and every video, each and every product that I make. So it's very, very clean whenever I get the glitter off of the table. Soap by nature is obviously pretty clean, but I like to let people know that. This couldn't have gone any better. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, this is typically where I would stop a video and be like, ta-da, we're done. But if you want to see how I collect the glitter, I'll just take my little brush here, brush off what I can. Sometimes the molds are a little bit oily, so it's a little harder to get the excess off. And in that case, I'll just tilt it to the side and do what I can like this and just see if any extra falls off. Oh yes, my tables are also sanitized in between piping and in between the base layer. So that way it's nice and smooth whenever I do this next step. Sometimes little bits fall down on the table from the piping itself, so I try to avoid those if I see them. See this line here? Boop, boop, boop. There's a little bit of sticky something right there. All right, just get this little bit right here. And then I'll take a little cup and I'll just dust it right into the cup. I also have to vacuum my floor after every single batch because it does get quite messy when you do this with your glitter. But there you go, there's all the glitter that I saved. And now I will spritz the top very, very gently with rubbing alcohol. Look how shiny that gets. Yes, and now you get to see what the soap looks like when it's finished. I'll zoom you in real quick. Again, no more shaky hands. This looks so beautiful. I cannot wait to cut it, and my whole room smells like cucumber melon. So we'll be back in 18 to 24 hours to cut the soap into bars and take a peek at that inside after this quick commercial break. Look at this the next day. I am obsessed with it. Honestly, that Sparkle Me Aqua really brings the whole thing home. So I'm just gonna turn it on its side here. I just love this color. Like, the color is so summery. It's so fun. Let me go ahead and line it up with my multi-bar cutter. This one is from Nurture Soap. We named her Evangeline quite a long time ago, right? And now that it's lined up, I'm gonna press down gently, very slowly.
So someone's cutting on the side of it?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that, but it's cut slowly. Mom is in here with me doing the soap.
If you didn't notice, Lily is out here cutting soap with me today. So let's just remove one from the inside. What do you think? This is what it looks like on the inside.
That looks so great. I don't know. I never cutted soap with Mama because I never saw the fragrance of them. And Mama gave him a special tip because I chose to do this and went to see.
This fragrance, Lily, this fragrance was one of Mama's favorite fragrances when she was little. And you know where we go sometimes to get hand sanitizer, Bath and Body Works, and candles sometimes?
Yeah.
It's from there. It's called Cucumber Melon. You want to give it a smell? Not your favorite?
It is my favorite. Just it has to dry out so it can smell good.
Yeah, sometimes you're right. Soap smell a little better after sitting for about 24 hours. I couldn't be more pleased. The only thing we have left to do is stamp it with our jellyfish stamp. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to stamp it with the jellyfish stamp.
What jellyfish stamp?
So it's been a while, admittedly, and these soaps are going to be hard to stamp because I've waited too long, which is a lesson to everyone who stamps your soap. Don't wait that long to do it because the stamp just won't imprint very good. Honestly, this Etsy shop came to the rescue because one of our stamps got stuck in shipping and they delivered this so fast. I will leave their name on screen now. They even gave me a coupon code that I can share with all of y'all. So if you need an acrylic soap stamp, this shop comes highly recommended. They had this in the mail to me within 48 hours. And then it got to my house within 3 days. So awesome customer service. They're incredible. So here we go. I have dipped it in Tahitian teal. Look how pretty. And these jellyfish are just going to jellyfish their way right across the soap. Now again, these will look better on the other bars that we do. And because I didn't wait so long to stamp them, but there you go. It'll look a little something like this, which still looks quite good, by the way. It was just a little hard for me to push this final part in right here, but you get the point. They're jellyfish, they're glubbing away really fast. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below and do something fun for yourself today, like going and picking up your childhood favorite scent at Bath and Body Works. Chances are they probably still have it in stock. There's so many oldies but goodies that they keep around. Or maybe putting together a fun craft that you've been putting off. You've got that kit sitting on your desk and it's been there for 3 months and you go, maybe some other time, or I just don't have time today. Pick that kit up and get started. I don't procrastinate. Of course, I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, bye for now.